4 months into the crisis and different forms of lockdown dito sa Metro Manila, mukhang lumalala pa rin yung COVID-19 outbreak dito sa Pilipinas. Pag titignan mo yung fatality rates, yung recovery rates na napakababa, pag tinignan mo yung daily new cases and the surge in the epidemic infections dito sa Pilipinas over the past few weeks, some would say the Philippines already has the worst case in Southeast Asia, especially if you look at the active cases. So anong response ng Duterte administration? On one hand, the government has tried to hire new experts, including the Baguio mayor and former PNP investigative chief, Mayor Magalong, to be in charge of contact tracing dahil according to the World Health Organization, napakahina yung contact tracing ng Pilipinas. But things got more interesting when top officials in the government started passing the blame sa mga taong bayan. Ayon sa kanila, lumalala yung sitwasyon, hindi dahil sa kapalpakan ng gobyerno, pero dahil pasaway ang mga Pilipino. But things got even more interesting over the past few days when the Undersecretary for the ILG, Martin Diño, suggested that the way forward is a shame campaign. Payayin natin yung mga tao na hindi sumusunod dun sa mga basic regulations and protocols para siguraduhin na hindi mag-spread itong COVID-19 virus na yan. Ayon sa kanya, now I believe it's right that we have a shame campaign because COVID is no joke. Just imagine how many there are. Let's not let it increase. The government will do everything to stop this pandemic. And he suggested that secrecy or some sort of privacy around who is infected or not is not going to be helpful dahil gusto mo i-prevent yung tao na yan from socializing with the rest of the population. So, i-isolate mo sila. So, habang lumalalang sitwasyon, mukhang the government is passing the blame somewhere else. And guess what? To us, the Filipino people. The problem is, the data suggests otherwise. There are at least 2 major surveys that have showed that the Filipinos have had not only one of the most stringent and strictest lockdowns in the world, but actually sumusunod ang mga taong bayan pagdating sa mga basic rules and regulations including wearing masks and also washing your hands with soap and making sure na hindi tayo magkakaroon ng excessive socializing outside our basic needs to go out. Ayon sa pag-aaral ng YouGov in partnership with Institute of Global Health Innovation at Imperial College London, up to 91% of Filipinos have been wearing masks at all times pag nasa labas sila para sigurado na hindi ito mag-spread. And up to 83% of Filipinos have said that they constantly use the soap, they wash their hands para siguraduhin na they have the necessary hygiene to protect themselves. Another study by the Asian Development Bank suggested that the Filipinos are only second in Asia when it comes to the stringency or yung strictness ng lockdown and the observation of it. And another study by the Asian Development Bank showed that mobility dropped among Filipinos by more than 62%, the second highest just next to Sri Lanka. So the facts, the numbers are very clear. The Filipinos are among the least pasaway. In fact, the Filipinos are among the most compliant regulation-abiding people on earth pagdating sa COVID-19 crisis management. In fact, Vice President Leni Robredo made this point very clear early this month when she said, mali yung kasing kapag sinisisi mo sa tao, self-defeating na agad. Parang ang presumption agad, masama yung tao. On one hand, DILG spokesman and Undersecretary Jonathan Malaya toned down yung suggestion for a shame campaign, embracing a much more public health-focused approach. And interestingly, Foreign Secretary Ted Boy Locsin suggested that ang kasalanan ay hindi na sa taong bayan, that data very clearly shows that ang taong bayan ay very compliant, among the best in the world, but ang kasalanan is with the health bureaucrats or yung officials in Department of Health. So ito na nga, you have top government officials admitting that ang kasalanan could be with the government, not necessarily with the Filipino people. And as far as data is concerned, it's very clear, hindi pasaway ang taong bayan. Maybe before lecturing the country about being disciplined, magsimula muna tayo sa gobyerno mismo. Let's make sure we get people who are experts in dealing with the COVID-19 public health crisis, not experts in public relations and passing down blame to the Philippine people. Ako po si Richard Hidayan. Stand with us, stand for truth.